You are listening to Mishknei Elyon with Rabbi David Katz and Malcolm.
Hi, Rabbi Katz, how are you?
Hey, Malcolm, how are you? Welcome back.
I'm okay.
Everything's all right? We're turning into the new Goyish year 2016. Everything's good?
Yeah, that's great.
You how are the Bengals doing?
Very, very good. A little nervous for Saturday, but, you know.
They're playing the Steelers, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
All right, we have we'll have things to talk about, I'm sure, on Monday. Or Sunday. So here we are. We're back on the saddle, and if I remember correctly, we're learning Mishknei Elyon, right? And how's that translated in the English book? We're using Rabbi Avram Greenbaum's translation of Mishknei Elyon by the Ramchal. The English book calls it The Secret to the Future Temple. Mishknei Elyon, you could just say, is the heavenly abode. That's my rough translation. And go ahead. So look for me to start and stop you, okay? Just go ahead and read the paragraph, and we're holding it at the land of Israel. In my book, it's going to say Eretz Yisrael. So read it once and go back again, and look for me to start and stop with you, like we usually do. Go ahead.
Okay. So this is page 59 for anyone following the English. The land of Israel. In this place that I mentioned, there is a single great path surrounding the stone.
So that's good. We're going to talk about the stone.
Right.
All right, good. So I'll bring that in. Go ahead.
This path is like a vast land containing great fortified cities, the like of whose beauty and splendor has never been seen. This entire path emerged from the light emanating in full beauty and splendor from the very essence of the luminary of which I am speaking. For this reason, this place is very holy. The earth there is holy earth, and from it emanated in the world below, the land that God watches with special care, the land of Israel.
Wow, this is great. I know what he's talking about. So before we went on the air, remember I told you about Dar?
Yeah.
So let me get that reference for people. This is really good. I mean, this is on so many levels. I don't think I can even say it. It's impossible to articulate 20,000 things at once. For anyone interested, you should see the ba here. And it is Mishnah number 193. And also, one second, how's this work? Hold on. Let me look in the English. It's a weird numbering system, the way they put it in the book. I'm using Aryeh Kaplan's translation of Ba here. So it's Mishnah. The Mishnah is numbers 190. But you should also look back at 189 and 188 for context, because it's like a running on story. Also, even 187. Maybe even 186, just to get, a running start. And then by the time you get to 190, they talk about Dar, this stone, like we said in the last broadcast, the stone where all the beauty comes out of. And then it talks about it again, I think in 191, and then it culminates through 192 and 193, and then it's over. Effectively, you need to read from 193 and starting at, what did I say, 187, or what did I say?
Yeah, 187.
Yeah, so 187 to 193. And the idea is that there's this stone called Dar. I mean, you can one of the drushes is that the word Hadar, like Hod v'Hadar, which can mean glory, majesty, or to return, right? The 8th king that didn't die in the 7 kings of Edom, which Kabbalistically is how the world was created. His name was Hadar. So this is beyond a one-liner, you know? You cannot explain this in one line. But effectively, there's 2 stones spoken of in the Bahir. Sachar and Dar. And for all intents and purposes, Sachar is Keter and Dar is Malchus. But not exclusively. We're not saying that Keter is Sachar, okay? We're saying that there's almost like a symbiotic relationship between Keter proper and then Sachar being there, right? Just like Abraham is Chesed, but is he really? No, but is he? Yeah. You see what I'm saying? So what you attribute to Keser is Sachar and Malchus Dar. And the idea is that the Shefa you draw down from like the upper stone to the lower stone. So you see it's a different dynamic than spheres proper, right? It's like a special relationship. The fact that he's saying there's a path, that's the tree of life, connecting the Sachar and Dar stones. And he's saying it's a vast land, fortified cities. Well, what is that? What's the name of our chapter? Eretz Yisrael. So do you see the fractal?
Yeah.
He's saying that in the tree of life of Atzilus, there's these stones. And then he's saying that's the Beis Hamikdash. So we know that the Beis Hamikdash is a fractal, right? Whether it's the temple, Jerusalem, Temple Mount, land of Israel, the whole world. We know it just emanates out that way. So now we see how that works. It's the map of Atzilus, and those 2 stones are basically what transform Atzilus and the Tree of Life into the Beis Hamikdash above. See what I'm saying?
Right.
You could even call it, turning it into Metatronic. It's like, Moses has a staff in his hand, right?
Yeah.
And that staff is called Metatron. Then you could say, how does Moses utilize the staff in his hand? What do you call Moses with a pen in his hand? That's called the staff of Metatron. Meaning, Moses the scribe becomes Metatronic when he's writing Torah. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not some guy writing Torah, is it? Or some guy writing a book. Right? So if you understand Moses the prophet writing the Torah, that's a Metatronic image. See what I'm saying? If you and I are talking Torah as Dave and Malcolm, that's mundane. But imagine if right now God blessed the entire universe because of our learning. That would be a Metatronic moment, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's what it is, but, in theory. So how do you turn the Tree of Life into a Metatronic element? Beis Hamikdash. See what I'm saying? You can read the Tree of Life as spheres, but remember, it's only a Kabbalistic map anyways. It's not a dogma, the Sphirot, right?
Right.
So you can transform them into a different angle. Or, you got the Pshat and Drush. Meaning you could alternatively look at the model of the spheres and see the temple. See what I'm saying? I.e., you can see them as 10 Sphirot, normative Kabbalah, or you can see them in a different way as the temple itself. Then the land of Israel is no longer, dust and soil, but it's a map of the Tree of Life. And there you go. That's how you turn the land into Metatron. Or Metatronic.
Wow.
Right? And then you have and then on every level, right? The Hashtalshalis of bringing that down from Atzilus to Bria, to Yetzirah, to Asiya. I mean, you see how at this level, it's a fractal you can open up on every level, right? Once you understand the path between the stones. So let's go ahead again, and I'm gonna start and stop you in the Hebrew, and let's see what we can find. You ready?
Ready.
All right, so go ahead and start slow, and then I'm going to stop you.
Okay, sounds good. In this place that I mentioned.
Wait a minute. Stop. B'makom hazeh asher zacharti lecha. See, that's what we're talking about. The place of the stone, right? It says up above, v'ha'evin azos yikara ma'od. The stone above is very great. Now you're going to say, but Rabbi Katz, we are only talking about one stone, and you're talking about two stones, right?
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead, Malcolm, and well, you don't have it. Do you have the but here?
No, I don't have it.
So here, I'll go ahead and say it for you. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
193 in the ba here. I'm going to just read the Ari Kaplan to keep it simple for you. Ready? And what is the meaning of the verse? From there is the shepherd, the rock of Israel. From there is nourished. Remember, we're talking about two rocks. From there is nourished the rock of Israel. What is the meaning of from there? We say that this is the supernal righteous one, Tzedek. What is it? Remember, now it's talking about Keter, obviously, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is it? It is the precious stone called Sachar. And the stone that is below it is called Dar. And what are the rays mentioned in the verse of Habakkuk 3:4? He has rays from his hand. Remember I told you the preceding Mishnayos, right, are such that, or Sifim even, Chaim likes to call it Sifim, that they mention all these different things about the hand, the fingers of God. Right here, what is the meaning of rays? This is in 188. He replied, there are 5 rays. These are the 5 fingers of man's right hand. Right. So again, they're using these imageries, and again, we're asking. He has rays from his hand. These are the 5 fingers of the right hand. Shouldn't it say 2 hands because 2 stones?
Mm-hmm.
No, it's 1 hand. So therefore, you see, it's 1 stone. Right? 1 stone draws onto another. It's 1 stone. That's why he says it's a path. You understand?
Right. So it's not really asking 2, it's 1.
I mean, you could say it's technically 2, but 2 is 1. I mean, that's the Vilna Gaon. I am Hashem, your God, no other gods. That's the most classic example. Male, female, 1 flesh, right? It's always 2 become 1. So the Keter Malchus relationship. Where did I just see that? I just saw it recently. I think also in this by here, right? Keter Malchus is just 1 thing. That's why it becomes 1 stone, and that's why it's 1 hand, and that's why that you understand it this way. So B'makom hazeh asher zacharti lecha. That's the stone. It's 1 stone. It's really 2, but it's Keter Malchus, the path, the middle kav, the middle pillar that connects the 2. Therefore, it really is 1. It's not called the hand of God. It's at that point called the arm of God, right? His elongated arm, which generally is when you go from Yesod and you reflect backwards or upwards. You rise up Malchus to realize Tiferet, which is the parts of Zah, right? Zeranpin, the masculine. So you're already growing the hand of God into an arm, right? And then when you rise up to Bina and towards Keter, you just really define, the more definition of God's arm, right? The shoulder, the side, which is it's an allegorical way of saying that you recognize God's hand in this world. The mazel, hashgacha pratis, right? Mm-hmm. You can begin on a metaphor level to witness God's hand moving things in the world, right? But if you just say it's God's finger or yesod, then it's kind of foggy. But if you get to Tiferet and you say it's God's arm, then it becomes clear. Right? You want to get out of the fog. So the higher you go to Keter, the nice way of saying it is the fogginess goes away. And God's providence is pronounced. That's what it means to bring the Shefa down. And that's what it means to connect the stones. Then you're connecting the Sfirot. Then you're witnessing the Beit HaMikdash, right? Which is Dafka, the revelation of God. Go ahead. Nimsa. It was found. Go ahead.
So, I'll start beginning again. In the place that I mentioned, there is a single great path surrounding the...
Wait a minute. Okay, stop. Nimsa derech echad gadol. Saviv la'evin saviv. Doesn't that sound like a river goes out from Eden and waters the garden? Right? It surrounded the garden. It's the same thing. Because what is that river coming out of Eden?
Right.
Everyone says it's the river coming out of Bina, understanding, right? So there you see it. It's a Nimsa Derech Echad Gadol. This channel is not the Desaruta Delosata, the awakening from below, because then that awakening from below goes to Bina. That's why it's Din. When you go back, when you're looking for God, it's judgment. Because if you're looking for something that doesn't exist, otherwise you wouldn't be looking. But if you found it, then it does exist. So there's no more din against you, right? Mm-hmm. When you're looking for your car keys, isn't that din?
Yeah.
Because you're going to be late. What happens when you find them? Now the din is gone. Now you're happy. You found them.
Right.
So all the time we said, stop trying to remember God because it's going to hurt you. You need to know that God is just with you. That's the difference between Amunah and Bitachon. Right? If you're trying to connect to God, that's a hard thing to do. If you just know that God is with you, then all is good in the world. Right?
Right.
So therefore, the Derech Echad Gadol, the great one big path, that is not how we relate to God. Then perforce, what is it? You know?
How do you relate to us?
Ah, very good. So how does that work? You've heard of the 32 pathways of wisdom?
Mm-hmm.
That's the essence. Mochin the godless, high intellect, when it just goes down the middle pillar. Where left joins into right, and right goes towards the middle, and then it just is a torrent right down. Keter, Teferet, Yesod, Malchus. Right?
Right.
So that's what that path is. That's why it's only one. It's one thing. Right? It's one stone because it's called Derech Echad Gadol. One path that surrounds the stone. That stone is called Dar, Malchus. Just like the river goes out of Eden and waters the garden. Keep going.
This path is like a vast land containing great fortified cities.
Wait, stop. So he left out stuff. Once again. V'zeh haderechu. So, you know the word derech?
Yeah.
Do you think that this word means something, or is it just like, it's a path?
Probably means something.
Yeah? But when you see it in the English, what do you think about it? This path is like a vast land.
Just a path.
Just a path. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's called Torah of Shem. And also they're called Ikarim, Iker. And it means that, also you can say it in Mishlei, they're called Amrei Bina. I'll tell you an example. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
I always give this over in my Mishlei class. Malcolm, I see you're at the supermarket, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can you buy me my favorite shampoo, please?
Yeah, Amy.
Yeah, it's all good. Now, assuming that we're on a relationship level, that I expect you to know what that means, right?
Mm-hmm.
What happens when you come back and you did not buy me my favorite shampoo? You bought a shampoo, but it was not my favorite.
You're going to feel hurt?
No, I'm going to be very upset you didn't listen and understand me.
Right.
Because you didn't think the word favorite meant anything.
Right. I didn't put importance to it.
Right. You just thought it was blah, 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 path, blah, 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 path, blah, 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 blah. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Most people, in fact, everything you say means something. Just because you're unaware of your own words doesn't mean the angels haven't put those words in your mouth. It's called the world of Yitzchak. Right? If God has a right hand, David HaMelech calls this God's left hand. Right? So the right hand is God educates you by running your life and that you know certain things. right? He put you into football, and you therefore use football words in your life because you grew up that way, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the other hand of God is called Yitzchak. It's an angelic only world. Their job is to highlight the Word of God. That's why there's revelation of the Shekhinah in text. Okay? So when I spoke to you, the angels contrived my words so that instead of saying it any other way, I say, Malcolm, can you please buy me my favorite shampoo? And maybe I didn't even realize I said it, right? I wasn't thinking, and I was just saying it, right? So when you come back and you didn't buy me my favorite shampoo, but another shampoo, I'm going to get very mad at you. And you're going to say, what'd I do? And because I'm just now realizing the whole story. That's why women do that. It's Bina, right? I'm just now realizing that, hey, I did tell you favorite shampoo. And I realize now it was because I know you never buy me my favorite shampoo. See what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
And you're like, well, why didn't you make it special? Why didn't you say it like this? Hey, Malcolm, can you buy me my favorite shampoo? But you always say it like this. Hey, Malcolm, hey, would you mind buying my favorite shampoo? And this is why we get in arguments. Right? Ger is just another word in the Torah. It means convert. But if you were to hear what the world of Yitzchak was saying about it, as in language schok, playful. It's a playful world. Right? The Torah is screaming all the time, but we don't hear it. You hear what I'm saying?
Right.
So sometimes you can know what you're saying. When you say, can you please bring me my chumash that's on the coffee table in the bedroom? That's pretty specific, isn't it?
Yeah.
But sometimes you say things and you don't even realize you're saying it. For example, here, I'll give you a good example. You ready? So, play along with me. Ready? So, Malcolm, it's really tough because, I got this new job making steel chains.
Mm-hmm. That's tough.
It is tough. They're heavy, I mean, the boss is always saying, like, come on, Dave, you got to get those chains put together. We got deadlines. And I'm like, it's just chains.
Yeah, that's definitely hard job.
Yeah, it's hard. So I wanna go out with you to get a bite to eat later on. You want to go?
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
'Cause they got the football game on, we can watch it together, yeah?
Yeah, that sounds great.
But it's tough. It's tough to do this job that I'm doing. But I guess, it's like you gotta progress in life. You just gotta keep the chains moving. You know what I mean?
I hear you. Gotta keep those chains moving.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A lot of people do this. Right? You don't even realize how apropos the words you say are.
Right.
It's like this. Me and you were working at McDonald's, right?
Yeah.
Hey, Malcolm, do you want to watch the baseball game with me later on?
Sure, sounds good.
Yeah, Mark McGwire is pretty awesome when he hits home runs, isn't he?
He's great. Yeah.
I know, the Big Mac is great, man. He hits home runs all the time. But it's true. I mean, pun intended is a wisdom. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see.
And it comes out all the time in being in conversations where you wouldn't expect it. Because it's so over the top. That's called the Torah of Shem. It's so over the top, you don't catch it. Right?
Right.
So imagine if you were a wide receiver in high school. And when you and I are not talking Torah, you're always talking about how, I never caught the final ball, man. I never caught it in the end zone. Right? You're telling all your friends that, right?
Yeah.
And then you come to me, hey, Rabbi Katz, hey, Malcolm, how you doing? Blah, 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 Torah, blah, blah, blah. Did you catch that, Malcolm?
I see.
And then it goes over your head. You don't even realize that I keep saying all the time in our friendship. Did you catch that, Malcolm? Did you catch it? Did you catch that? And then all your friends say, Malcolm, we'll catch you later. Catch you later, Malcolm. Catch you later. Right? And then in your personal affairs, right? Romantically, it's always like, I always fall and you never catch me. You never catch me. So that's the thing. That world is responsible for these things in our speech. And it's everywhere. Everything you say is loaded like that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that if you understand Mazel and the wisdom of speech, you can actually analyze the Ruach HaKodesh in all speech. But you're not good enough. Because you're not Moses, right? You don't know the Hebrew root and the Mazel. I mean, none of us do. The point is that when, now to bring it back into our world, when it says derech, everybody takes that to say, yeah, it's a path. What can you do? But it isn't. Because, you know how we're talking about the Moch and the Godless coming down in Atzilus?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think the Zohar calls the channel between Keter and Malchus when that happens?
Derech.
Mm-hmm. And you'll say, oh, well, that's a coincidence. No, actually it's not. Because the Zohar compares Orech, Derech, Shvil, Masila, all types of paths and roads. Each one with a different connotation.
Mm-hmm.
Right, hold on 1 second. I just have to run out. 1 second. I'll be right back. 1 second. All right?
Sure.
Okay. All right. Pause. 1, 2, 3. So the derech is not an accident. You can now see that, right?
Yeah.
So v'zeh derech hu kamo eretz rachovat yadayim or yadim ma'od. See, that's what he left out. This path is like a expanded or vast land. Yadim me'od. I don't know what yadim means. Let's find out. Want to find out?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Let's find out. I never saw this word. I don't know if I ever saw it or not. It's kind of weird. Yadim. Unless it's Yadayim, that wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, that wouldn't make much sense.
Yad. Let's see here. Again, how's this spelled? Yadim. Ah, wait, man, that's a weird word. What's that? Zeh derech hu kamo eretz rachovat yadayim od. What a weird word. Hold on. Ah, interesting. Who knew? Yadayim can mean power, strength, like obviously the hand or the arm. So it's, hey Malcolm, can you give me a hand? It's that kind of thing.
Oh, okay, I see.
Zeh der haderech hu kamo eretz rechavat yadayim ma'od. Wow, isn't that a great word?
Yadayim ma'od, so it's like a great hand.
It's a kamo it's a, wow, that's a powerful expression. It's place. That's the word. A vast, a vast land, very placey. No, but
that's the only way you can translate it.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what a placey place is. Ready?
Okay.
Have you ever been to a store that is just a lone building on a street? Just one little building, like a pizza shop or a bakery or something.
Sure.
It's a little, rinky-dink, you walk in, little bell goes off, whatever it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever been to a mall?
Yeah.
Would you call a mall placey?
Yeah.
You got the fountain, you got the food court, you got the stores, you got the parking, you got the this, you got the that, right?
Yeah, very placey.
Right. Now, it doesn't matter size. Some houses are very simple and not well put together. Some people might have a small, for example, have you seen those, this is the idea. Have you seen the micro living things on Facebook? You can live for 75 square meters, blah, 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 right? That's a placey place.
Right.
This is where I put my clothes, underneath my stairwell. This is where my laundry machine goes, underneath the toilet. If you just flip it upside down, I can do the laundry and brush my teeth at the same time. Right? That's a placey place, right?
Right.
And that's Bina. I mean, that's by definition, right? Turning the toilet seat upside down and brush your teeth, that is Bina. Right? It's compartmentalized. That's really what Bina is. Wisdom is to just make the thing itself one at a time. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So this path from Keter to Malchus, from whatever you want to say, from the Kadosh Kadoshim to the Mizbeach, to all of the land of Israel, whatever whatever fractal image you want there. It's a sprawling land, very placey. And that's what Israel is. Israel is a placey place. I mean, Sfat is incredibly placey. Just little places all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Uba irim gedulot ubetzorot. And it has great cities. Very strong. Go ahead. Read after the city part.
The like of whose beauty and splendor has never been seen.
Oh, you're going to like this. How much you want to bet you're going to like this?
I'm pretty sure I like it.
So we can understand then that the tree of life, or if you want to call it Kabbalah, is very placey. You understand that?
Yeah.
So when you go into the bank, it's a boring bank, isn't it?
Yeah.
What happens when you find God at the bank? Meaning you understand the divine providence. You connected, right? You got through the fog. What happened?
It's a very placey bank.
It is. You start to realize all the different little nooks and crannies. Oh, there's the manager talking to this. It becomes life. Because guess what happens if you were to work at the bank? What is it in reality? It's a very placey place.
Right, now you understand all the intricacies.
That's it. Malcolm, can you please go get me the rubber stamper in the cabinet in the worker room, please?
Right.
But you the bank, the customer, you don't even know they have that room.
Mm-hmm.
That's why working in places. Have you ever worked for a boss who has clutter problems? The shelves overflowing and stuff like that.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. but I know the top.
Yeah, it's just some places are miserable to work at, because it's just places everywhere. All right, so that's that. Now here we go. Lo niru. Wait, translate again? I wasn't paying attention because I got stuck on the word. Translate again slowly.
It says, speaking of those cities, the English says, the like of whose beauty and splendor has never been seen.
Good. Lo niru kehine berov yofim v'hadarim. And they were lo niru. Like this is not something you can see, right? You don't see a place. When you come to my house and I give you, you're probably thirsty, right?
Yeah.
So I'll get you some water, no problem. What are you gonna do when we sit down and talk?
Put the cup of water down.
Why would you put it there?
I don't know where else to put it.
That's not the place where cups go.
Right.
Why didn't you ask me to get up and give you a coaster in the place that I keep coasters when people come over?
Mm-hmm.
And you're not even sitting on the right couch. You're sitting on my couch. You're in the wrong place.
Right.
But even though these things aren't vocalized, we're not rude, but it is going on in your mind, right?
Yeah.
I really wish you wouldn't put the water where I keep my Torah notes. Thank you. But I'm not going to tell you that. Right? But guess what happens when you do spill the water over on my notes? Then you're going to hear about it.
Yeah.
So the places are not seen. And I'll tell you the perfect example of this. You ready? You don't know this because you've never been to Israel. Am I right? You've never been to Israel?
Never been.
Oh, man. When I went to Texas and the new airport, the airport is placey. You walk in. This is it. Because it's in Israel, right? It's like the hub of all travel, right? You walk in. You never actually stop walking until you get to your airplane. They take you from place to place, and you never actually stop. And you know they're watching you the whole way. But you never see it. Right? It used to be the old days. You went in, you checked in, you stopped. Here, you just kind of get absorbed in the airport.
Right.
Can you imagine how many places technically you're walking through?
Right.
Checkpoints and everything? So here, Lo Nero, you won't see it. A real place you will never see. Kehine Berov Yofim. Because of all the niceness. The airport is really nice. Got the Jerusalem stone, cute little Israeli girl, where are you going, where are you traveling to? Have a nice flight, Mr. Katz. You didn't realize she was only here to check you security-wise. But it's all hidden. You'll never see it, right? And it's all nice. They're nicely dressed. It's always clean, right? You never see what's going on. And then what? Huh?
So you're saying you're absorbed in the place so much that you're not going to see the actual place because you're absorbed by the beauty and splendor of the place.
That's it. You're just happy to be in a nice Israeli airport in the Holy Land, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. A really holy place, you will not notice the place. What is Jerusalem called? The place. Hamakom. Right, because God is called the Makom. God is called the place. Now, you understand why?
Yeah, that's really deep.
So what happens when you go into the temple to bring your sacrifice? You are in the place of all places, and you won't even realize it.
Can't you say, like you say, you're absorbed, and almost you're becoming part of the place now?
That's it. You
doesn't even notice you.
Where's your soul rooted at? In the temple. You're back in your place.
Right.
You are part. You can only be you in the temple because you are at your place. The temple will tell you who and what you are. You can't be anything otherwise. And you can prove it in a very simple realm. You're bringing an offering, right?
Right.
I'm a Cohen, right?
Yeah.
Are you going to put me in my place and tell me I'm doing it wrong? No. Am I going to tell you, how dare you do blah, blah, blah? No. The temple, everyone knows their place. That's why it's the angelic by nature. Then we can only concentrate on the words being spoken, which means you're aware of that word Yitzchak. Can you imagine the holiness coming out of that place?
No, I can't.
Did you just notice that I said that place by accident?
Right, there you go.
And what's the other word? It's yofi. It's nice. What is it also? Ve hadarim. Notice that word hadar?
Hadar, yeah.
Isn't that great?
That's great. That is sweet.
That's it. That's why. That's it. Now, what is the word? I just noticed this also. How do you spell the word derech?
I'm not sure either.
Daled reish kaf sofit. What's an alternative way of saying derech in Hebrew? Darcha, your dar.
Wow, that's wow.
That's a good one.
That is a good one.
So
Awesome.
continue the next sentence.
This entire path.
Wait, stop. V'kol ze behaderech. I'm going to translate it darcha. I'm sorry. I think that's what it's going towards. V'kol ze behadarcha. Or derech. V'kol ze. I'll try them both. V'kol ze. All this is in the path. Or in other words, all this is in your dar.
Wow.
So you have a place, Malcolm. In the temple, right now in your house, you always have a place. God is always with you. That means God always makes your place. That means you always have dar. That means there's always something nice going on. Nice means it's placey. You think you're trapped in a bank or wherever it is. Look around, you'll see it's a place. The river comes out of Aden to water your garden. You see how it's always there?
Right.
It's never not there. There's niceness right there. You don't see it. Why? The airport, because you're absorbed. The bank doesn't want you starting up. If it's a good bank, we want you to be absorbed in the bank. Just sit down in a comfortable chair, take your number, and look on your iPhone. Don't bother me. The more you're absorbed, you're less prone to notice it, right?
Right.
But what happens if you break out of that comfort? You're probably going to find a lot of stuff. So the least comfortable you are, probably the worst environment to be in. But when you're absorbed, I mean, what is an Ashes Chayil supposed to do? Right? When Malcolm comes over, the first thing she says is, Malcolm, let me get you a drink. Here, sit down. You don't have a choice to put your cup in the wrong spot.
Mm-hmm.
She just puts you in your place. Notice I just used the word place.
Yeah, right.
Keep going.
This entire path emerged from the light emanating in full beauty and splendor.
Stop. Me'or atzmuso. The essence of giving light. V'ziv. Ziv is, I'll tell you what Ziv is. What is the difference between Ziv and light? You ready? This is how the Vilna Gaon explains Simsums. I'll explain it to you now. Not Simsum, but the concept. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
You are in let's just use the airport, okay? The airport is light. It's enlightened. You're absorbed, and it's great. You don't feel any pain getting through the security and onto your plane, correct?
Correct.
That's called me'or. It's enlightened. You don't feel like you're in a dark, dingy place. So what is ziv? What does it mean, shine? You, as an individual, have light coming onto you and out of you. I walked right past you in the airport. You shined light on me. I said, hi, do you know what time it is? And you said, yes, it's 5 o'clock. You see?
I'm not. This concept's a little. It's going over my head.
You shined light. The light shined on me directly from that place.
What English word can be translated here as these?
this entire path emerged from the light emanating. He didn't.
Okay, that's why I'm lost. Okay.
Yeah, he didn't. Yeah, he just combined it in one blurb.
Okay.
Right. So, Matt, now me and you are both in the airport, right?
Right.
And it's just enlightened. It's me and you both feel good, and we don't see each other. We're opposite ends of the world, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you what time it is, and you told me it was 5 o'clock.
Right.
You just shined light on me.
Right.
Thank you. but because it's about me, right? God took care of me. You understand?
Right.
Well, then I smiled and said thank you. What happened?
You shine light on me.
Right. But we're both enlightened at the same time. Because we're absorbed. So there's light emanating in the place, and a single narrow light shined on me specially.
Wow. Okay.
When I got to the luggage thing, the little girl said, "Hi, Mr. Katz, where are you flying to?" She smiled at me. She talked to me. I feel special. That's why there's an enlightened place, right? It's called customer service, right? Yeah. There's good customer service and bad customer service. But don't you feel good when there's good customer service?
Yeah.
When you order food, you want the waitress to be nice and bring you your food, and no balagan. Let me eat in peace and private, please.
Right.
That is specially onto you. But why is the seat comfortable? Why is the atmosphere comfortable? See the difference? It's not only about you. I have a different waiter. But I'm just as comfortable as you are because the company knows how to do that. You see?
Yeah.
Now, what is that light shining on me? It's called its niceness. She's nice. Oh, look, that's nice. Would you like a cart? No, I don't want to pay $5. Oh, it's free, Mr. Katz. Oh, thank you. I'll take one. Thank you. Nice. Why do you want me to schlep my heavy baggage in an airport?
Right.
Did you just see that I dropped my papers and I'm having a trouble time bending down to get it? Did you pick it up for me? Did you?
Yeah, of course.
Thanks. Schleich. Because the environment is just friendly and nice. It's a bit contrived, our example here, but you see my point.
Yeah.
Right? The divine providence is called nice. Now, what is the word for beauty? Hadar. V'hadaro. So now, it's essentially enlightened and particularly shining its niceness and its hadar. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
It's shining its hadar on you. That means it's just like the goodness of God is coming at you. So when you're in the temple, because obviously the airport's a bit of a trefazach, right? But when you're in the temple, it's an enlightened place. There's that word place. And the Kohen talks to you directly. Hey, Malcolm, how you doing? Right?
Right.
And I'm nice to you. Can I help you with those things? It's nice. God says, I want you to come to the temple and be happy, not miserable. But it's a bit mundane. I'm just taking care of your animal and all this stuff. V'hadaro. Whatever experience you have in that temple, God is emanating the highest of high onto you directly. Pretty powerful.
No, that is.
Keep going.
Okay. So the light emanating in full beauty and splendor from the very essence of the luminary of which I am speaking.
Right, it's coming from the highest of Atzilus. So when I say, hi Malcolm, how are you? Don't just ignore my words. Remember, the world of Yitzchak is coming at you as well. And that is engineered by God personally. So you need to listen to what I'm saying. Because in the temple, it's going to be exactly what your soul needs to hear. That's why you bring an offering to the temple. You're literally fixing your root of your soul.
Right.
On the highest level imaginable, in the most understandable terms. If you will wake up and not just hear the word path. Which you will in a temple. Because it is the place of all places. You'll be in your place. See, why don't you understand what I'm saying to you now? I'm gonna speak. I'm gonna pretend a little game with you now. Let's just say I'm saying you don't understand a word I'm saying, right?
Okay.
Because you're wrong. Why are you wrong? Again, I'm gonna speak very blunt here, okay? Right?
Yeah.
I'm a teacher and you're the student and you're trying to educate me. Did you ever think maybe that's why you're not understanding things?
Right.
You're not in your place. Right. In the temple, you're going to be in your place. Because you don't know not to. Why is the bank a very successful analogy? Because you know that you're not the bank teller.
You know the order of how things are supposed to be.
That's it.
You want
Right.
to bank, you don't have to ask what to do.
That's it. I used to manage a coffee shop. One really obnoxious guy one day used to say, David, can I come back there and make my own coffee? You're too slow. Would you ever tell the bank teller, can I take my own money? Man, you're so stupid. No, you wouldn't, right?
No.
So the bank is a perfect analogy because you are there to get your money out and be on your way. You're not thinking, and why is that? Why are you not prepared to challenge anybody at the bank?
Because you know your place.
No. Don't you think it's in their best interest that you don't think that you're the bank teller?
Well, yeah, I mean.
How do you prevent the bank robbery?
You have bank tellers, you have security guards.
Everybody knows their place.
Yeah.
Right? In Las Vegas, my mother used to work in a casino, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what they make them come into the casino with? Plastic see-through bags.
Oh, wow.
You know your place there, don't you?
Yeah, definitely.
So in the bank, it's very hard to make a revolt. It's not going to happen. They make sure you know your place. You know, how is it that McDonald's is so successful in terms of getting people in, ordering, eating, and leaving? You know this trick?
No, what?
Hard, uncomfortable seats, and they make it a little bit cool. They have it down to a science. It's just enough for you to eat your Big Mac, drink your drink, and leave.
Yeah, you're kind of tired of being there.
Yeah, you don't want to be there anything more than it takes for you to put down that food.
Right, but at the same time, it's nice to eat in there when you're eating. You know?
That's it. They keep it clean. Those chairs don't accumulate, grime, whatever, right? So you see, it's a science. We don't want you messing with Billy, the 15-year-old kid, behind the counter. Leave him alone. Mm-hmm. So they make sure that nobody will mess with it, right? That's the thing.
Right.
But in society where the places are a little bit hard to understand, that's called relationship. You forgot I am your teacher. You call me, hey, Davo, good buddy. Right? No, Malcolm, it's not time for Davo. It's time for Rabbi Katz.
Right.
But when you forget about those things, so I say, hey, Malcolm, can you bring me my favorite Torah book? Oh, Dave, my friend, doesn't care. Well, did you ever think maybe Rabbi Katz does?
Mm-hmm.
Who gives you the right to say that I'm Dave? I'm being Rabbi Katz, and I ask you to please bring me my book. You say Dave doesn't care. He never cares. Is that not like 99.9% of all friction and fights and relationships?
Yeah.
Two parents have a kid, and the woman speaks. Is she speaking as mom or wife to John?
Mom.
Maybe not.
Right.
It's your job to know.
Yeah.
You have to know. Otherwise, you're not in your place.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you yelling at our kid? Because I'm his dad. I'm not being mom right now. I'm being your wife. You got to keep. Yeah, that's the thing. God's arm is always pushing the pieces around the board, and you have to know your place. So the temple is where you learn your place. You get the whole DNA code. I'm Malcolm. I do this. I do that. You get what you are. That's your soul. You understand what you are, how you are, and you'll say, what am I, some kind of a robot? The answer is, it's called mazel. You understand your mazel. Just like a name read, all the things, but you get it at the temple. So when you go about your life, you can just be a better you. I always think that I'm a tough guy. The temple tells me I'm not so tough. So you leave the temple, you stop being a tough guy. Tough guy gets you in trouble. Being a nice guy, saves your life.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. For this reason, this place is very holy.
That's now we finally use the word place. Isn't that great?
Yeah.
Hamakom. That's awesome.
After all that.
Yeah. Ve'al kain haya hamakom kadosh me'od. So I think that's a nice way of saying it. Once you get life, whether it's the temple, your relationship, whatever it is, how do you identify Dar? You get it to a place. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When I'm in your house, I'm walking in all arrogant, and I'm going to say, I'm here. I'm the rabbi. Step aside, Malcolm. What's the problem?
It's not your place.
Not my place. And I'm basically going to try to destroy your place.
Right.
So is my shefa going to come down? I'm thinking I'm going to step in and be big shot, and you'll just respect all my wisdom and how great I am and blah, blah, blah. What's going to happen?
Probably going to kick you out.
Well, things are going to happen that are not right.
Yeah.
I'm going to end up spilling my drink all over your stuff. Now you're going to give me dirty looks. Now I'm going to be self-conscious, right? Now I'm nervous. What happened to Mr. Tough Guy? What happened, Rabbi Katz? Basically, Dar stopped nourishing me. It's called klippa. Now I'm a big klippa.
Right.
But if I know my place, I walk in, as Mishlei says, know who you're sitting in front of. If I can find my place, God sent me to Malcolm's house. What can I do? Right? I'm here. Find your place, Rabbi Katz. The quicker I find my place in your world, in your place, Dar will nourish me. If I'm getting my Dar, then you're for sure getting your Dar. Because if I'm in place, then obviously you're in place. Or at least more, you're not out of place for sure. Because I'm in place. You have every reason to be in your place. And that's called very holy. That's what holy... So, I want to phrase this question the right way. I'm going to say this in a very simple way, and I think you'll appreciate it. Ready?
Okay.
Where is the holiest place in the world?
The Holy of Holies.
So what can you imagine now is the reality of the Holy of Holies?
Right.
It's very...
It's holy.
No, it's very placey.
It's the place. Yeah.
It's the place.
Right.
It's the place. Everything is placed there. When the Kohen Gadol goes in on Yom Kippur, he is going to every place in the world.
Wow.
And now we know what that means.
Right.
Everybody knows that the Shefa in the universe is rooted in the Holy Holies, right?
Right.
But who knew what that meant? We want to say it's dimensional, like Back to the Future, whatever it is. You know what I mean? Like movies, Hollywood. But now you can actually understand how every place is in the Holy Holies.
Mm-hmm.
It just is. It's a placey place.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's nothing superfluous in there. Meaning you would be entertained by every movement you made.
Right.
You know what I mean by entertained? You would be walking into a new world with every motion, every thought and every word. You would be surprised at the entrance of every new world when you went into the Holy Holies. It would probably seem ultra familiar. Can you imagine it?
No. Sounds too big to imagine.
That's it. So now, keep going.
The earth there is a holy earth.
V'ha'adama admas kodeshi. So, can you say there are places in the earth?
Yeah.
Want me to prove it to you?
Okay.
I saw this in Tehillim, and I understood this in a very deep way. There's a concept called death. Are you aware of that?
Yeah.
And it's preferable to be buried in Israel. Are you aware of that?
Yeah.
Because the earth receives I'm speaking loose here because I'm going to explain in a second. The earth receives you better in Israel, and they say that for Techiyas HaMesim, it's better to come to having been buried in Israel. Correct?
Yeah.
Do you know what happens when you die?
No. What happens?
You decompose,
Right.
and your body is absorbed back into the earth.
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear me say the word absorb?
Yeah.
Does that mean then it's a place?
You're absorbed into the place.
There you go. How could it not be holy?
It's deep.
The ground is deep, isn't it?
Yeah.
See? See how it comes out every time? Right?
Yeah.
So then I saw a video about this. After 3 days, your body explodes. It's in the I think it's the nitrogen or something kills the whole ground around you. But you know what's really happening? Your nefesh has wisdom in it, and it literally finds its way back into the earth. It like escapes the body.
Right.
Much like sperm finds the egg.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a liquid, but it's not. The point is, the nefesh finds its place in the earth. Is that not fantastic?
That's great.
That's why death is not a bad thing. When I saw that video, I realized how great death is. The nefesh has the wisdom from your life, if you live your life well, based on whatever. That it literally sabotages the dead body to break out, and then it finds its place in the earth to absorb. By definition, that is a placey place and a holy place.
Right.
Because it finds its way into the earth almost like code. You see what I'm saying? The nefesh finds its way back into the earth. It finds the place that it needs to go. So the earth opens up to receive the nefesh, like a Venus flytrap. And the wisdom is how you find your place. So you can, if you're dumb, without wisdom, your nefesh will find a very harsh way back to the earth.
Right.
If you had wisdom, your nefesh will find a great place back to the earth.
That's awesome.
It's like if you have healthy sperm, you conceive a child, right?
Right.
What if your sperm is not healthy? You don't. Or it comes out, chas v'sholom.
Right.
Go ahead.
And from it emanated in the world below the land that God watches with special care, the land of Israel.
Stop. Asher mimena yatsa lamata ha'aretz nikras Eretz Yisrael. Asher mimena yatsa from it comes out below. Wow, a land called Eretz Yisrael. What we're saying is, if Dar is a holy place, right?
Yeah.
then by definition, there just must be a place below. Don't we say the whole world was built around the Evanshtia?
Yeah.
Therefore, you don't have to ask how or why. Because if Dar is a holy place, then there has to be a place. You see what I'm saying? Eretz Yisrael is the hemshech, the tail end of there has to be a place.
Right.
It doesn't matter anything in between. There just has to be a place. And there is. Keep going.
That's the end of paragraph 9. We can get into another topic after this.
Wait, no. There's another one. Start from the word that God.
Not in my book.
Yeah, it is. I'm looking at it.
What?
Read the word the land that God. Then it keeps going. Oh no! I see. He wrote it backwards for you.
Yeah.
My book says Asher Mimena Yatsa Lamata Ha'eretz Nikrat Eretz Yisrael Eretz Asher Hashem Dora Shota. See?
Right. Okay.
That's weird. All right, so I'll read it. A land that Hashem Dorish Ota. Dorish can mean search, but I like to call it drush, which is make alternative. That's what a drusha is. Drusha takes pshat, and it says we can make this an alternative. Right? That's how you find your place, right? You're just some guy named Malcolm. That's pshat. But maybe we've developed a relationship by now that I can actually call you a student.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a drush. Because are you really a student? Maybe you're not. Maybe you're more Malcolm than student, right?
Right.
So, but drush is when you have permission to look at the alternative. A land that Hashem alternates on it. That's the essence of emanation. What do we say guards this place in the Torah? He kicked Adam out of the Garden of Eden and placed there the two Kruvim. Who are the two Kruvim? Sachar and Hadar.
Wow.
And then what's the flame of the sword that turns? The alternative. Knowing your place, finding your place. Adam's trying to find his way back to the garden. The way back is you can't be in a static lifestyle or a dogma. I'm not only Rabbi Katz. If I assert my will to be Rabbi David Katz, I'm going to be out of place a lot of the time. But if I'm Abba, I'm David, I'm a son, I'm a brother, that God searches and alternates on that land. Or in the place that you are. Basically, wherever you are, you have to understand the place that you are and understand who you are in that place. Meaning, who is God searching for? Because if you're in the place, there's light there, correct?
Right.
So is the light searching for you, the Ziv?
Is the light searching for the Ziv?
No, the Ziv, the light is searching for you, is it not?
Yeah.
So you want to know what time it is, don't you?
Yeah.
And you want me to tell you, don't you?
Right. So I'm asking.
Then don't call me a jerk.
Right.
Why are you making I'm beneath you? But if you know your place, yeah, you're the great Malcolm everywhere else. In the bank, you're just some guy.
Mm-hmm.
You're expected now to be just some guy. Well, I'm more than that. Not here, buddy. No, you're not. So when you know your place, then you see that God can find you. See what I'm saying?
Right.
Then you are enlightened in that place. Now you can help make that place comfortable and nice and help everyone else get their hadar. One guy can ruin an entire environment. Just go to a bank tomorrow and start yelling and screaming and see how that works out for you.
I was just going to say that.
So that's it. We did it. We finished the paragraph.
Yep.
That was awesome, huh?
That was great. That was awesome.
Yeah, I like this one a lot. So next time we'll pick up with Chutz La'aretz. That'll be interesting. Very interesting.
A long paragraph.
Yeah, very interesting to see how he contrasts Chutz La'aretz with Eretz Yisrael.
I'm excited.
Me too. Yeah, that was my favorite one so far. I like that a lot. And it was a Shkaka practice, so I did that Dar research. By the way, I'll throw this in at the end. You know how I came on to this Dar?
Oh.
We say that Noach was a tzaddik, and some people say he was not a tzaddik. Right?
Yeah.
They say he was a tzaddik only in his generation.
Right.
It's missing the vavs. Right? So they say because of the drasha element, we can make an alternative shot, right? Because it's a drasha. So maybe it was just because he was only good in his generation, or some say no, for all of time. Why was it spelled without the vavs? Ready?
Yeah.
David Katz says, don't say bedorosav in his generation. It says vedartav. In his dar.
Wow. So he was a tzaddik in his dar.
In his dar.
Mm-hmm.
Not door, dar.
Dar.
And then Rashi always leaves off the Talmud that explains what that means. Now I'm going to blow your mind. Ready to have your mind blown?
Yeah, I'm ready.
So hopefully I'll find this page. 1 second. This is a mind blower. Be ready. So Rashi leaves off the Talmud that explains that why we say Noach may have been great and may have not been great. You ready? Ella told us Noach ish tzadik, tamim haya bedorotav. They spell it with the vavs, but the Chumash is missing the vavs. Okay?
Okay.
Amar Rabbi Yochanan, bedorosav v'lo bedoros achirim. V'reish Lakish Amar, bedorosav kol shekain bedoros achirim. Amar Rabbi Chanina, Marshal the Rabbi Yochanan, Lamar Davar Doime. What is this similar to? To a chavis of yayin, a jug of wine that was placed, munachet, settled down, b'mertaf, in a wine cellar, shel chometz, of vinegar. Ready? B'makoma, reicha, nodaf, shelo b'makoma, ein reicha, nodaf. In its place, the scent goes. When it's not in its place, the scent doesn't go.
Wow.
How do you like that?
That's a good way to tie it all together.
So what do we learn from Noach? Noach knows his place. He's a tzaddik.
Right.
When Noach didn't know his place, by definition, he's not a tzaddik. Where do we see that? With the vineyard in the holy ground.
Yeah.
Right? He did not make the earth holy. He was not in his place. But when he's in his place, he's a tzaddik and holy.
Wow, that was insane.
Yeah. And then they say, if he would have been in the place with Abraham, he wouldn't have been considered as anything. Why? Because it's, again, you can say it's not his place.
Yeah, it's not his place.
It's not his place. It's not his place. That's like saying, what would the great Rabbi David Katz be as as a janitor in the Cleveland Cavaliers stadium. It's just stupid. I mean, it's not his place.
Right.
So the problem is when they read it as door, and I think it really, al pisod, it should be dar.
Wow.
When you're in your place, you're a tzaddik. When you're not in your place, you're not a tzaddik. And place is like this thing, placey, dar. You got to find your place. Then you can settle into being a tzaddik. Now, the fact that the Torah calls him a tzaddik means Noach knew how to find his place, and he knew what it means to not be in your place.
Mm-hmm.
And the Torah shows that by his actions. Why don't we see Abraham being embarrassed that way? Because the Torah didn't need to show Abraham out of his place. Abraham was simply in his place. That's what the Torah is teaching about Abraham. Abraham was, how do you know Abraham was accountable in every way? He was in his place. That's why he became chesed. Noach didn't. It's not a genai. It's just that Abraham settled into his place, which means he was connected to the temple in that way.